Welcome back to Airlines Walk. Usually Millwall fans will be bothered by a 5-1 defeat. Not in this case, then out the cup we go. Who cared about it in the first place? And now we've got 4 months and 20-odd games between potentially getting Millwall into the Premier League. That's where the focus now needs to be, and that's where our focus is on Airlines Walk. Great to have your company back with us. I'm a Mark, I'm a neutral, and this is Mike, of course, and others who join us. Passionate, massive Millwall fans who travel up and down the country. How nervous are you, Mike? Let's start off, I suppose, by Happy New Year to you and all of that. But over Christmas, here's where we are. Still fifth, still in the positions, 43 points. Dare I say 3 off automatics?
Yeah, I think you could. I don't think automatic is looking likely. It's nice to be in touching distance. If you're in touching distance, you're doing something right. But yeah, you can't really fault it. I think that everyone's got injury crises at all the different clubs and things, but I do feel like we've had a real bad luck of it, and with a couple of suspensions at the wrong time with disease, to come out of it relatively unscathed. And the run we had as well with the teams we were playing all in and amongst it as well, I think still sitting in fifth at this point, I think anyone would have snapped your hand off pre-season. But yeah, hopefully we got more things to come, but the fixture list for us doesn't really get any easier, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Let's just back to the Burnley game just for a second. The other positive to come out of it is, as Paul said here, if we take anything from today, get rid of Bender, which is exactly, of course, what has happened. There we are, return to Fulham, I think within 24 hours of that 5th goal going in. He's been the poster boy of everything going wrong for Millwall, hasn't he, in the last 3 weeks? Is he a good goalkeeper? Will he make a good goalkeeper one day?
Particularly, I'm not too fond of him. To be fair, he had one of the best displays goalkeeping when we played against Sheffield United. What was it, 2nd or 3rd game of the season? We won 1-0. He kept absolutely everything out, and it was just sensational. But you go back to the first game he played against Norwich, and he kicked it against Sargent, and it went into his net. And I don't think anyone felt particularly comfortable. The squad didn't look comfortable with him in there. They always looked a little bit shaky. Everyone was calling for Crocombe to sort of take up the number 1 position. And then luckily, I think it was the Carabao Cup or something where he, Crocombe coming as the cup goalkeeper and then just retained his position. And I think Millwall fans were relieved. And I think there was it's such a big window for us because we're not typically big spenders other than last January and then sort of reinvesting what we've earned through SA and Fleming sales and things like that. But we all know in terms of squad numbers, we're actually really high, but our injury list is so high. We're not sure quite. We really need to get rid of some players to free up some space. And I don't think anyone, if Crocombe did get injured, we're at that point now where the board and James have to make a decision. If this is something we're really going to push for, should something happen to Crocombe, like last year we had 2 goalkeepers out and it was George Evans, the kid, in goal for the sort of final 15 games. Could you rely on Bender to sort of, hold the reins? But to be honest, I don't. You would just assume at that point that the season was done and over with. So I think it was worthwhile to get him out, so we can bring in someone. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm sure there must be a plan in place. I don't think if there was a plan to send him back before Saturday, you would never have played him in a cup game for no reason. So I'm guessing there's been some sort of aftermath fallout, or I think a few Millwall fans made some comments to him and stuff, but yeah.
Okay. George Evans has been recalled, of course, from Hartlepool as well. Are we likely to see much of him, do you think? Or
I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so. To be fair, he's done really well at Hartlepool. I think from just looking on X and stuff, he's a bit of a fan favourite. He's come in and they were in a lot of trouble where they bottomed the league when he come in, and he's putting some real good displays for him. I think it's more so just maybe covering. It wouldn't be surprised if he goes back out on loan to Hartlepool in 3 weeks' time when we've got someone else in. But now it's a numbers game of, we got Joel Coleman in as well. But I think he was always brought in as the third goalkeeper anyway. So I don't think we were ever planning on giving him minutes unless we're in trouble. So I imagine Evans pops in at number 2, and then once we've managed to bring in, someone to either replace Crocombe or another number 2 during the window, and then I imagine Evans will go back out. I would assume anyway.
Let's have a look then before we talk about more transfer rumours about what is coming up then. Watford away, because you already beat them on Monday night early in September. You got a good record against Watford as well, haven't you? And you just know that SA is going to score for Coventry, don't we?
Yeah, you might as well just put them 1-0 up before we start.
Then we got the derby, of course, against Charlton, which we'll talk about more next week, and then Sheffield United to come to the lane, of course, as well. I mean, just on that SA one, why? I mean, it's obviously gone to Coventry, and that's great for them. But is there any interest from Millwall?
Not that I've heard particularly. I've heard like rumours, but then I think everyone knew SA was going to go on loan to a Championship club this window. It doesn't surprise me he's not come back to Millwall. I think if he could have picked, they gave us a lot of money for him. Really, like, it's our largest ever sale. I think it was in the region of 12 million, and I know he got a percentage of that as well in agents' fees, and it's not always quite that to Millwall. But I think Glasner was never really keen on him in the first place. He's berated him multiple times in the media. We're rivals anyway. They're not going to do us any favours, and everything that happened in the cup last year, and there's still a lot of bitterness between the two clubs, and they wouldn't do us a favour. And to be honest, if they was willing to give him as a loan option to us, I don't think it would be for cheap, and I think it would be recouping some of the money they spent. And he's not really played any first team football now for so long. There's no guarantee he's going to hit the ground running. He has looked good when I've seen him, in the cup games for Palace in patches, and there's definitely talent there. But to be honest, our recruitment strategy's changed in the sense of we're recruiting younger now, which obviously is in SA's model. But I think we need a bit of experience in this window more than anything. We need someone. We're not going to get someone to suddenly come in and score 15 goals between now and the end of the season necessarily, but someone that can, this used to the league, know the way it plays, and not going to sort of, crumble to pressure and intimidation of sort of coming in at a big time of the year for us.
Yeah. Okay. We talk about some of the other transfer rumours that you've heard. I mean, the ones that not sure many of these have got legs. Inquiries for Cody Drama at Hall, Tyrese Hall at Tottenham. There's been strongly linked. Harry Mass, of course, who's playing for Wednesday, but is a Man United player. What have you heard? I mean, added to that, any of those got legs?
Too much. There was Castle Dean for a little bit as well. I think that would have been a brilliant one, to be honest. I think that would have been quality, but I think Middlesbrough would have. That's we don't typically use. We dip in League One a lot for sales. We don't often look in the Championship, and I'll be wondering. I don't know. I've heard a couple of rumours. There's a young striker at Sheffield Wednesday that we've been linked to today. I've seen. But I think he's only got 2 goals in 19 games, and you just go, but it's in a struggling team as well, so maybe if there's something there, I don't really know. There's a striker at Leyton Orient I've seen that we're looking at as well. Apparently, I can't remember their names now. You're forever refreshing on Twitter or X. But yeah, there's a couple we're linked with. I think a striker is a priority. I think striker, goalkeeper, right back. I haven't seen anyone in particular that with any sort of real depth to the argument that they're looking to sign yet. But I think we were looking to get Steve Gallen did an interview before Christmas, and he was saying about people would be coming in early doors, but that's not seemed to have happened yet. So I think we're all a bit on eggshells at the moment. We expected some movement.
Okay. It's been a decent Christmas for Millwall, of course, undefeated in the 4 games since we last spoke to you as well. Was it 3 wins at Draws against Ipswich and Southampton, and then wins against Swansea and Bristol City, of
Bristol
course, wasn't
Rovers,
it as well?
yeah.
Bristol
We'll
City.
see, yeah.
Who's impressed for you in that period since we last spoke?
Yeah, I think Ipswich are going to be. I think
Oh,
Ipswich are
sorry,
going to
which
be.
Millwall players? Sorry.
Oh, Mill players. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Caleb Taylor, hands down.
Yeah.
He's really becoming a fan favourite and a fan of my. I'm a fan of his. I think. To be honest, not that I say I wrote him off before he joined, but it just seemed like an odd signing. He's very similar to Cooper's profile, and I imagine that would have been the transition eventually of, when they felt like Cooper had sort of, he's in his 30s now, and he would sort of succeed him. But I don't think, I just didn't expect him to be as good as he is, and I think it was a bit shaky the first game I kind of saw him, and then they did well against. I think he played against Palace actually as well in the cup game. But yeah, no, he's looked brilliant since he's come in. He's looked brilliant, and he's our back four now is starting to get a little bit more stabilised. So we're not. I was gonna say we're not conceding a lot, but we conceded 5 on Saturday. But that was a completely different back line. But yeah, Caleb Taylor's been brilliant. I think Doughty's been good in the centre of midfield. I'm looking forward to him getting out wide. His deliveries are just. They're some of the best I've actually seen. He knows where he's got his target and he hits it seamlessly every time. Negley's done well as well. I said we're kind of working on a patchwork team at the moment where we're just trying to get through games and things like that. But I think that just goes to show the sort of depth we do have is that we have no real right, to be honest. We've been where we are for the last 2 months based on the injuries that we've had without centre midfielders, and Billy coming back has been brilliant, been refreshing. Hopefully, he can just stay fit now till the end of the season. Mazusaku come in at the last league game, but he's now injured. He's been photoed again in a boot against Burnley. So it's another centre mid back and gone within 5 minutes or 60 minutes that he played. But yeah, we'll say.
We can prioritise the league now, though, can't we? That cup game, we can just shelve it and go with it. But
not bothered for me. Not bothered for me.
That back four of Kramer and Cooper and Taylor now and Sturge, it's one of the strongest in that. If you look at that top six for me, I think all of them have got weaknesses. If you look at Coventry's backline and Borough's backline, they've all got weaknesses in their back four. But I don't. Your weakness is up front, isn't it? Scoring goals. But your back four is going to really take some beating, I think. And when you've got all your midfield back, I think we're going to. The only one unfortunate thing about Millwall going up potentially is, of course, we're going to miss West Ham as they come down.
Yeah. That'd be a nice problem to have. And there was someone on TalkSport the other day saying it. I couldn't believe it, that they would rather finish the season now and have West Ham drop, and then this is when we was outside the playoffs, I think, and when we miss out. And I was like, for me, I'd rather go to the Premier League, get the parachutes, get the big payday for James, and pay back the family, and come back down with a bit of grace. But no, I think defensively, I think we're pretty good. I like Crocombe. He's a good goalkeeper. I'm still not 1,000,000% that he's going to be the one that you want in a playoff final. In terms of the back four, the only weak point is Sturge at the moment. He got concussion about a month and a half ago, but since then he either in the first 10 minutes if he's going to have a good or bad game, but he'll literally it's that black and white. He'll either be awful and he's coming off at a reasonable time, or he'll be on for the full game because he's playing absolutely sensational. But then it's not, we got Joe Bryan who can come on and shore things up. I think the only thing that worries me a little bit is we don't really have a backup should anyone now get injured or suspended at centre back or right back. We got a couple of players like Danny Mack can come in and Kramer could move across and things like that. But there's a way to do it. But in terms of like top six quality and what you need at that crunch time of the year. The back four now is the best we've got, and yeah, Kramer got in team of the year, didn't he, as well? So
Yeah,
I
he certainly did, yeah.
think that's telling. I can't see him going this window. I think that there would definitely be a few people making offers, but I don't see, regardless of money, and I don't see anyone. I think a lot of the Premiership teams that could afford that sort of money won't want to spend that with the looks of coming down potentially. And then I think he's absolutely sensational player. He'll be in the Premier League by the summer, I reckon.
Okay. We'll finish this week with our A to Z, as we always do then. By the way, if you haven't yet subbed to the channel, it'd be absolutely amazing if you can do that. With 20 more minutes of Millwall chat in your life, we look at the good and the bad of social media takes as well. And if you are a Millwall fan that fancies coming in and giving Mike a run for his money, then we'd love to hear from you as well. Drop your name in the comments. We'd love to get you on the show. L, we're up to, Mike. I can't hardly scarcely believe it. I don't know how we got there, but we are.
We're going through them all quickly at the
moment. A to Z of Millwall. Who gets in for L?
Let's have a think. Do you know, I should have planned it ahead. It's funny when
Macaulay Lang stuff then.
Yeah. He's been brilliant since he's come back into the fold. In all honesty, there'll probably be a bunch of obvious answers, but my mind is completely going blank at the moment. I won't say George Long. He's been on my mind a lot today with Bender going back.
Yeah. What about, we'll have to have Lions, won't we?
I've got one. Shane Lowry. One of the best goals I've ever seen live. His free kick against Charlton. Can't remember what year it is. My mind's not there. But one of the best free kicks I've ever seen, and it's funny. He scored that free kick from, I don't know, 35, 40 yards out, top corner away. It was in the away end and was absolute limbs. And then I think he tried it again every free kick, and he never repeated it since. So, but yeah, that's my shout for them. There's probably a very glaringly obvious one I've missed. So yeah, right. Someone let us know.
Good show. Let us know in the comments. Right, thank you very much, Mike. Enjoy the game. Of course, this weekend we'll be catch up with you next week on all of that as we head to. Well, it's going to be a fascinating end to the season. For Millwall, genuinely hope we do it, and we could do a live one of these on Wembley Way come May 26th for the playoff final. Fingers crossed. Join us for that, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.